High school sports, we've got it covered. Overtime starts now.
Hello, welcome to Overtime. I'm Drew Collins.
And I'm Scott Leber. This is the place to be on Friday nights for high school basketball, even when frigid weather forces almost all the area games to be canceled. But we do have a great show for you.
We'll spotlight Guilford basketball player Kissan Taylor, the football star who is proving to be one heck of a basketball player. We'll also look back at some record-setting performances this week.
And I'll sit down with Eastland Cougars head coach Tyler Zumdahl. His guys are putting together another dynamite season.
First, let's review some big games that were played earlier in the week. One was for first place in the Nick 10.
The Guilford and Auburn boys went at it Wednesday night at the Castle. It's the Gillies heating and air conditioning game of the week. Both teams were 8-1 in conference play going into the game. They shared first place. Brendan Chapman's first shot of the night, you knew it was going down. That netted him and the Vikings 3 points. Amir Danforth answers with the jumper. Now check out this play. Off the Auburn miss, Champ Parker cups the ball with one hand and puts it in. That deserves another look. A terrific effort there by Champ. Now this next one by Chapman might top that one. Watch him as he hits the turnaround fade shot. Good and one. Guilford led by 12 in the second quarter. Second half now, Michael Marshall loves the step back shot. He gets 3. Cordell Spencer made some big hoops for Guilford. He drives for 2 of his 11 points. Down the stretch, Danforth kicks it into high gear. There he goes hard to the hoop. Danforth again, going to go even harder this time. And one with that, he scored 16 points. Kyer Johnson will fire in a very big 3. He had 8 points off the bench. If that basket didn't do in the Knights, this one certainly did. Kissan Taylor, up, in, and one. Guilford defeated Auburn for the second time in 11 days, 76-70.
So the current Nick 10 standings look like this. Guilford is in first place with a 9-1 record. Auburn and Hononegah are tied for second at 8-2. Belvedere North and Belvedere are tied for fourth place at 5-5. We just saw the battle for first place in the Nick 10. Wednesday night, there was a battle for first place in the NUIC North.
The Dakota Indians hosted the Pecatonica Indians. Peck came in with a 4-0 record in conference play. Dakota was 5-0. Dakota's Austin Stuckey handles the ball well for his size, backs down his smaller defender, and puts it in. Peck's going to go inside to its big fella, Zion Brima. Brima with a nice move there. He scores. 6 seconds to play in the half. Dakota with the ball and has to hustle. Cone Lawler's shot is going to be off, but Stuckey fouls, just beating the buzzer. The game is tied at 23 at intermission. Brima started the third quarter with 3 fouls. We'll pick it up with him taking it to the hoop once more. Really good ball handler for his size. Now remember how Dakota beat the halftime buzzer? They do it again here. This time it's Dallin Long with a deep 3-pointer, and Guilford led by 5 after 3. Now Liam Burke's free throw with 11 seconds to play put Dakota up by 3. His second free throw comes out. Casey Mayer's follow doesn't go. Brima comes away with the ball. Peck needs 3 to force overtime. It's Blake Fox down in the corner. No, but the ball comes out to Carter Degner, who just gets it off, but that's no good, and that's the ball game. The Dakota Indians defeated Peck 43-40 to improve to 6-0 in the conference.
Pecatonica tried to bounce back from that Thursday night. The Indians hosted Lena Winslow. Lee Wynn will get us kicked off. Brady White, sneaky back door, but he'll miss. Mr. Lee Wynn, Aiden Wild with the putback. Zion Brima was playing bully ball all game long. Check out the nice move and the strong finish at the rack. Pecatonica fast break. Check out Brima gliding through the air for the slam. He finished with 12 points. But Lee Wynn was hustling. Look at the Hail Mary pass. It'll be a touchdown for the Panthers as Miles Mann grabs points. Like Lee Wynn's back at the state title game. Brima doing it all. Grabs the steal, runs the fast break. He'll slam it down again. The junior was having a great game. But Lee Wynn had the last laugh. Miles Mann finished with 19 points as he gets a bucket here to help Lee Wynn finish it in there.
All right, let's check out North Boone against Lena Winslow. And that's the man of the night right there, Zach Van Blaricom, hitting the 3-pointer. And folks, with that one, he reached the 1,000-point mark for his career. Van Blaricom getting honored there And, of course, his mom was there
waiting
for the big hug. You got to enjoy moments like that in life. A little more Lutheran action here. The outside shot by that same man, Van Blericom, who hits it again. And this time it's going to be Mason Keller driving inside against that North Boone defense. And then, Mr. Anderson with a sweet spinning move there for the hoop. One more Mason Keller bucket coming up here. The Crusaders roll to a 66-51 win. Now let's flash back to Monday in action of Byron's girls MLK tournament. Soraya Parker here of Rockford Lutheran became the state line's all-time leading girls scorer last Saturday when she passed Sophie Bruner. In this game, Lutheran faced Port Byron Riverdale. Parker for a three-pointer. She knocks it down. Parker then on the fast break. Little hesitation move, and she's got that too. Parker again with a silky smooth drive. She scored 15 points before fouling out. The Crusaders are missing Shauna Jones with an knee injury, so somebody else needs to step it up. Kenzie Lemke did that in this game. She's going to drive to the basket, and then she'll fire in a three-pointer. Lemke scored 19 points. Lutheran defeated Riverdale 44-40.
In the championship game of the Byron MLK tournament, Byron defeated Sterling 52-40. Malia Morton scored 25 points for the Tigers.
There was MLK action in Pecatonica Monday for the boys. Eastland faced UIC Prep. Parker Krogman was doing his usual thing, driving and scoring and making a big impact for Eastland. Long outlet here. It's Zy Haverland hustling to the hoop. Cougars get another quick bucket. Krogman with the ball, the bounce pass ahead to Grayson Zumdahl for the lay-in. Then Krogman's going to come away with a steal. He saw that pass coming. The slam. He scored 24 points. The Cougars won big, 65-38. Eastland went 3-0 at Peck's MLK shootout.
Coming up later, our spotlight story on Guilford's Kissan Taylor. Plus, we'll show you the two high school games that were played tonight.
Up next, I visit with Eastland boys coach Tyler Zumdahl.
Just a bit ago, we saw highlights of the Eastland boys winning big at the Pecatonica MLK tournament this week. Last year, the Cougars finished second at state in Class 1A.
Yeah, and despite graduating some great players like Adam Allwender, Peyton Spears, and Tanner Stern, they're sitting right now with a record of 17-2. Let's learn more about Eastland with head coach Tyler Zumdahl. Tyler, you were in a unique position going into a season coming off a state finalist type game last year, which very few teams had that opportunity. So I'm curious, with a couple of really key guys coming back this year, over the summer, last summer, and going into this season, how high did you set the bar for this year as a team?
You know, I let the guys kind of set that bar. You know, we kind of talked about what their goals were moving forward with this year. You know, and a little bit to my surprise, you know, a lot of them had the same goals or even loftier goals, you know, which is pretty small margin. So as a coach, that got me excited that was kind of the mindset. So then it was my job to kind of help, you know, motivate them or put them in positions where we could try to go after that. You know, we knew that there needed to be a lot of work to get done to achieve that, and I've been really happy with, you know, the work ethic and the leadership that we've had step up this year to try to reach those goals.
You lost an all-state point guard, and those are hard to replace, and I know you can't do it with one guy, but kind of how has your team adapted and adjusted? Who do you rely on, one guy now to be your point guard? Is it a committee of guys doing it? How are you adjusting there without Adam?
Yeah, you know, we've had guards like Harper Kime and Wyatt Carroll step up. You know, Parker Krogman's taking a bigger role handling the ball. You know, the best thing about this group is they're a tight group. You know, they work together well. You know, so they help put each other in good positions, help push each other in practice. So, you know, while certain guys have stepped up, you know, it's been a collective effort to just kind of do what needs to be done in a lot of different areas.
You mentioned Parker Krogman, so we see, you know, the points and the rebounds that show up on the box scores, but what are some of the intangibles that he brings to the team that you really like?
You know, just his instincts. He's played a lot of basketball. He's got a great feel for the game. You know, no moment or two opponent is too big for him. You know, and I think one thing that kind of gets overlooked a little bit is, you know, how good he is defensively and the pride that he takes in that. You know, we feel like he's a guy that can, you know, really kind of guard anybody and make it hard for them. And that's a really big boost to our team defense that we rely so much on.
And the same with Zy Haverland. What are some of the intangibles about his game that don't show up in the box score?
You know, to have a guy like Zy with his kind of size and athletic ability, you know, it's pretty unique in small school basketball. He's just such a gamer, so physical, just willing to do the dirty work, you know, not afraid to mix it up and get bumped and bruised and nose plugs in every other game type of thing. So he just brings such a strong physical presence, and his leadership, you know, he knows what we're doing. He's not afraid to communicate that with his teammates, which is huge.
You guys have won a lot of games this year and a lot of close ones, five I think, by 2 points or less. So on the upside, I think that's a positive that shows your guys can handle those tense moments, those down-to-the-wire games. How good do you feel about the composure they've showed and being able to pull out those tight ones?
Yeah, as a coach, you know, I always feel like there's things we could have done to not be in those situations, but I give our guys a ton of credit. You know, and I think that's just something that not even me or the coaching staff is doing. Those guys have just played a lot of basketball. They have a lot of trust in each other. You know, they just kind of are able to play basketball in those moments instead of thinking about where the ball needs to go or what needs to be done. And in different situations, different guys have stepped up. So that's just them, you know, trusting in each other and going out and playing basketball and not worrying about the situation too much.
We're only a little over a month away from regional time. This time of the year, do you tighten the screws a little bit, raise the expectation for the guys to make sure they're polished and they're ready to go when the regionals do roll around?
You know, I think we try to do that right from the start. You know, we really try to get our guys doing what we need to do to be successful right from that first day. You know, you start getting into this time of the year. Hopefully there's not too much of that to clean up, but yeah, if there's things that we notice that we're not doing, you know, we need to make sure we're doing that. And hopefully at this point of the season, you know, the guys are understanding what we need to do, and if we're not doing it, you know, how to bring each other out of that and get it done, which I think I'm starting to see, which is a good thing.
In Class 1A this year, looks to be a bit wide open in this area of the state, so Eastland could once again make a deep run come tournament time.
Yeah, Krogman is a heck of a player, and the Cougars are very well coached. Before we do anything else, it's time to reveal our Athlete of the Week.
Our finalists this week were Zion Brima of Pecatonica, Bailey Westland of Boylan, Jordan Dimke of Hononegah, and Soraya Parker of Lutheran.
And the winner is Bailey Westland by a wide margin. She received 49% of the votes. In 5 wins last week, she averaged more than 21 points per game. Congratulations to Bailey on being selected to our Athlete of the Week. Coming up, we'll show you the 2 games that were played tonight in the state line.
And our local players are reaching more milestones this week. A look back at their achievements.
Almost every basketball game scheduled for tonight was postponed because schools were closed. We can say almost, besides 2 schools that did stay open, and they did play ball.
Yeah, those 2 schools that played were Rochelle and Sycamore. They played at Sycamore, and Tyler Sorensen was there. Tyler joins us now. Tyler?
Yeah, guys, this was a girl-boy varsity doubleheader between these 2 rivals, a pair of Interstate 8 conference games, and the girls took the court first. And hey, let's jump straight to the 4th quarter with Rochelle down 47-42. Audrina Rodriguez hits Sycamore with some post moves and scores the 2. After some free throws, 49-48 Sycamore, as Cortini Cordega drives in for 2 and makes it up 51. 3-ball from Rochelle's Reese Kissan ties it at 51, and after some free throws, Hubs will be up by 2, but then it becomes the Sadie Lang show, driving and hitting the mid-range jumper. And once again from the top of the key, driving, and give her the and one as she would knock down the later free throw as well. Now, Adriana Rodriguez does not want to go without a fight as she hits the tough layup and gets the and one call herself. But Lang would once again take it off the dribble and score the layup as the Sycamore girls take this one in a nail-biter, 64-61. Now it would be time for the boys' game, as it would be a scoring masterclass by Sycamore, as Marcus Johnson would find Isaiah Fierbach as he would drive in and get the 2 as well. And Xander Lewis, with no one around him, shows he can have some range as well as he hits this 3-ball. Now Fierbach showing some off-the-dribble prowess as he hits this mid-range jumper, and why not also show that he's got some post-game as well as he hits the fadeaway. Now we've seen him score down low and in the mid-range. Why not some Steph Curry range ball as he hits this 3? He would end the game with 23 points, and hey, why not show off that defense as well as he rejects this one, even though Rochelle would still get the basket. Some great hustle by him. And why not end off the scoring with the leading scorer of this game, Marcus Johnson, for 3. He would end this game with 33 points as the boys team defeat Rochelle 92-84. Now, even though the Sycamore squads swept Rochelle tonight, both Rochelle squads played their heart out, and I'm excited to see how both these teams finish out the regular season. Guys, back to you.
All right, thanks, Tyler, and thanks for driving to Sycamore in the cold for us. Nominate that man for Employee of the Month, all right? This has been another week where so many of our local players achieved so many remarkable things on the court.
We had several players break into the 1,000-point club. Brody Carlson of Rockford Christian did it. We saw earlier Zach Van Blaricom of Rockford Lutheran join the club. Quinn Carrier of Sycamore and Shay Ludwig of Rockford Christian also reached 1,000.
We also had two players crack the 2,000-point mark. Byron Senior Macy Groharing did it last Saturday at the Byron MLK tournament. Auburn Senior Amir Danforth also reached the 2,000 mark. He was already the all-time scoring leader for the Rockford Public Schools, so he keeps adding to his total. Belvedere point guard Dominic Alvarado set a school record this week for the most three-point baskets made in a season. He passed up the old mark of 140 that had been held by Joe Byers. Byers set that record 11 years ago. Rockford East's Marquise Goldsmith set a school record. He became the ERAB's career leader in rebounds. He passed up Andre Good's record of 799 rebounds that was set all the way back in 1981. And Rockford Lutheran Soraya Parker this week caught and passed Sophie Bruner as the all-time girls scoring leader in the Rockford area. Bruner's record was 2,542 points. Parker eclipsed that last Saturday at the Byron MLK. I caught up with Parker down there on Monday. How special is it to be right there with Sophie and now inch ahead of her?
Sophie's an incredible player. She's an incredible player on the court, but she's an awesome person off the court. And it was an honor. Obviously, I wasn't trying to focus on it, but just trying to play basketball this season. But it's an incredible record to hold. I'm just thankful for all my teams and family supporting me. She just said congratulations and that I'm a good player, but I'm thankful she's an incredible player, but she's such a great person off the court.
And it was great to get both of them there together at the Byron MLK tournament.
Those are two very talented players.
Coming up, the Guilford football star who's proven to be an outstanding basketball player. It's our Spotlight story. Kissan Taylor of Guilford is the most heavily recruited high school football player in Rockford's history. Turns out he's also a very good basketball player. He is a huge part of Guilford's first-place Nick 10 team. Let's take a look at our Overtime Spotlight story brought to you by Rockford Career College. Kissan Taylor was a monster on the football field for Guilford last fall as a junior. He used his 6'4", 240-pound frame off the edge on defense to overwhelm offenses at times. He had 68 tackles, 6.5 sacks, and a pick six. He showed his athleticism by also shining at tight end. This is Taylor hauling in a touchdown pass in the playoffs against Chicago's St. Rita. Now he's an imposing physical presence on the basketball court.
A lot of the kids know, the accolades that he got in football, and it's pretty well known around the city. So just him being that physical presence for us at times, most of our guys, it opens up the lane for our guys to attack the basket. I mean, he's 6'4", 240, and he's a load. But the thing about it is he also moves pretty well.
Taylor missed pretty much all of last season in basketball with an injury. Between that and being in football mode most of the past year, it took him a little while to get back up to speed in basketball. But he's been coming on very strong lately.
I think I'm helping the team as much as I can right now. I know I can do a little bit more, so I just gonna keep working with the guys and keep doing what we do.
Taylor is the guy down low the Vikings rely on for rebounding and physical defense. He also has a knack for taking charges. He took 4 in the Rumble and the Rock game 2 weeks ago against Auburn. Of course, Kissan isn't afraid of a little contact, not with all the contact he's part of in football.
He's an opportunist. One thing I say about him is he steps up for big games. He took 4 charges. Those were huge charges because guys end up falling out off those.
Taylor's future is in football. He's been recruited by almost every Big Ten program and many other major football programs around the nation, including current NCAA champion Indiana and NCAA runner-up Miami. In the past 2 weeks, Taylor has received offers from Penn State and Tennessee. Michigan, Iowa, Illinois, and Wisconsin are also recruiting Taylor. College football coaches are always reaching out to him through text messages and visits.
Early on, it was getting overwhelming, but I'm used to it, and I'm very appreciative for all the coaches that take their time out to text me or call me.
How serious are you about the sport of basketball? How much time and energy can you realistically put into this sport?
I'm really focusing here. in this sport. I've been playing this sport for like all my life. It was like this was my first love before football. I always put the extra work in for here. You know, my uncle is the coach, so he will never let me just let up.
One of Taylor's more remarkable plays on the basketball court was also in the Rumble in the Rock 2 weeks ago. He missed a free throw, hustled to grab the rebound, and put it back up for an and one. He also had this steal on the perimeter of the defense that he turned into instant offense. Just like on the football field, shining on defense and offense.
Kissan's a great player. I'm lucky to have him on our team. You know, he helps me out a lot, helps our team out a lot, does the little things. He just puts his head down, works every day, no matter what he has going on with football. He just wants to be the best for his team.
And he's given us another person that you have to scout, another person you have to get ready for. I mean, it's one thing to have to guard B a whole game, but then when you got to figure out a powerhouse like Kissan, gives us a whole another opportunity to score. Just having him this year, it means a lot to us.
And Kissan has really come on the last 3 weeks. I think he's a candidate for all conference honors.
Where do things stand with the process of him picking a college?
He's undecided, not in a rush. Right now he says he's just focused on building those relationships with all the college coaches that are reaching out to him. We'll be right back.
All right, it's time for our Napleton Auto Group Play of the Week.
The top play caught on our cameras. This was in that big game Wednesday night at Auburn. Auburn hosting Guilford. Off the missed shot, Champ Parker, the one-hander, cups the ball, puts it in the hoop. What a great play by Parker. That's the Napleton Auto Group Play of the Week. We'll be right back here again next Friday night on Fox 39 at 11 p.m. right after GN Sports.
And a reminder, you can see our highlights and scores anytime on our website, mystateline.com. That does it for this show.
Enjoy your weekend.